Well, the studio actually, the rooms are underground. So you have to follow me into this treacherous spiral stairs underground. So let's go. Stairs is really scary. Be careful.
Yes, it is.
Can you show us a few samples of poses you've seen other cosplayers do?
What about the signature cosplayer pose?
Signature cosplayer pose.
Hello, gang! Welcome to my studio, Studjao. Ako pala si Johan Andrew Ocampo. You could call me JAO. I'll give you guys a tour of the studio. Main attraction actually is my corgi. She's a nine months old corgi. She's named Tifa, inspired by Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII, yeah. All right, so why did you pursue photography?
I pursued photography because, content creation is my passion. Taking photographs, creating something that you have taken. Alam mo, yung pagka-snap mo, meron ka na kaagad ng something. That is something that I really like to do. That's why I pursued photography. So, it's one of the things you just found your calling and that you just want to pursue it.
Explain good composition to a beginner photographer.
A good composition, well, composition in general is the benchmark of a good photograph or a good video. It's not just the lighting, it's not just the makeup, it's the sum of everything. Just for a beginner, learn your basics. Learning the difference of ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. Those are the fundamentals. And then learn the composition techniques. And that is something you could learn for yourself as a beginner.
How did you learn good color grading and how did you find your style?
Learning good color grading involves inspiration. Let's say you're inspired from the people in Vogue, from the people in mega magazines. You see their style, but you begin to adapt it for yourself. That's where you see yourself creating your own. It's not just like copying, but in a sense, being embodied to that identity.
All right, so where do you get your inspiration?
I get my inspiration from other photographers, other artists, and other cosplayers as well. I also like movies because it just draws the creativity out of you. It's good to be inspired by other creatives as well. You don't have to compete with other photographers, other cosplayers, to just draw inspiration from what they do and make it your strength as you become inspired by what they do.
Last question for this room, because I heard you have other rooms. How do you get big clients and collaborations?
Big clients and collaborations. Well, I get those by just doing your work the best way you can. Your work speaks for itself. Networking yourself by doing some... It's actually frowned upon a bit now in social media, but it's good to have some X-deal collaborations. X-deal doesn't mean you don't have anything for yourself. It means you have something together that you could create. And that's where I started, yes, exposure does not pay the bills. I understand that. But there's a point in life as a creative where it is good that you could network yourself. In that time, it's best to have that kind of collaboration with other artists. It doesn't have to involve in a monetary sense, but it has to involve something that you guys could create and share. And by doing that, you just build up network with your co-photographers and co-models, and you build up a network from there. When you try to create something for yourself and just be excellent about it, and everything will work your way.
So basically, exposure is an investment, especially when you're starting out.
Yes.
It won't pay the bills, but it will eventually.
It will eventually, yeah. There comes to a point where you have to set a borderline. This is where I start to ask something that will help me grow, because exposure will do good stuff for you, but it won't just give you something all the way, because you need something else to grow. Like, syempre, you need some money for your gears, you need some money to travel, So you have to set your borderline.
I heard that you have a bunch of other rooms in this studio. Can we see your cyberpunk room?
Yeah, let's go. Cyberpunk room, let's go.
So where exactly is the cyberpunk room?
Well, the studio actually, the rooms are underground. So you have to follow me into this treacherous spiral stairs underground. So let's go.
All right, next question.
This stairs is really scary. Be
Yes,
careful.
it is. The next question is, why did you start a cosplay photography studio?
Well, I started a cosplay photography studio for cosplayers. So yeah, I started a cosplay studio for cosplayers, where they could just be free to create, just be at home and just exercise their creativity.
Okay, so what makes Studjao stand out amongst other cosplay photography studios?
That would be the neon lights. I have so many colored neon lights, and I'm the one basically handling the place. So you could have me as your assistant. I could assist you in the lighting. I could assist you in your composition if you're a beginner. Being more hands-on, as already a professional photographer, being in commercial shoots and stuff, I could able to assist you and give you some advice if that's something you would want.
That's
Here
great.
is the job.
That's great. The JAO photography helping out with your shoot. Yeah, that comes with the package, right, when you work here?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Could be
Now,
something.
next question. What is your advice for beginner cosplayers or models on how to get comfortable with the camera?
It's best that you first know your photographer. Being able to know your photographer, try to invite first your friends. If you can't be comfortable with your photographer, you can't pose, you can't project correctly, or you'll be just, maiilang ka, magiging awkward ka, no? So that is something you could look at. And that's what I actually did before. When I started photography, I asked my model friends to model for me so that they would be comfortable, sa mga posing, sa mga locations na pupunta namin, walang reklamo. So you could do that first as beginner because you can't just put yourself into that setup and then just let them do anything. No? So you have to build it up. You have to build up your style as you shoot. Because if you don't, talagang makakapa ka lang. And try to be guided by other photographers, other cosplayers, on how they do their style. You have to learn from the best for able you to do something, that is best and excellent. Yeah.
All right, that was a great answer. Now, next question. For those who don't have access to a studio, what tips can you give for self-portraits?
It's good to practice yourself in front of the camera, do some poses, something that you're comfortable doing. And try to look at pegs. You know what to do. You have some mood board in mind. It's something that you are ready to do with yourself. So that is something you could be more confident in. Kasi walang ibang tao, walang ibang distraction. Ikaw lang.
Can you show us a few samples of poses you've seen other cosplayers do?
What about the signature cosplayer pose?
Signature cosplayer pose.
Whoa! Thank you so much. Not only a photographer, but a model as well. Next up,
yeah.
What are the basic equipment pieces you need to start?
Camera. You can start without a camera. You can have all the lightings and all the tripods, but without the camera, just standing there, you're not creating anything. So the important stuff is to have a camera.
And also, yeah, when you have only the camera without the lighting, it lets you focus on how to play with the light that you do have.
Yes.
Natural light and stuff like
Exactly.
that. And once you master that, I think that's when you can, kind of graduate and start getting your own lights. Just like this one over here. This is what we're using right now.
Exactly.
Because you can't really properly utilize these lights without knowing how to play with lights.
It's good that because I started with nothing, I really started with nothing. Even if you don't have a camera, but if you know someone who has a camera and who is generous enough to lend you one, that is something you could ask. Because I started with I really have no camera. And what I did was I asked my brothers, I asked my friends if they could lend me their camera. So that's what they did. I borrowed it and just keep on shooting and just learn from, just ambient. Wala akong ilaw, wala ako lahat. Talagang kapaan lang. Just explore while you have a camera of your choice. That's something that's very interesting, having a camera that you really like. And it doesn't have to be a high-end camera, It's a beginner camera. You need to choose your camera. Just love what you do. Having that camera is something really, really inspiring to do.
So there's another theme, right? I saw it when we were going in. Can you show us?
Yeah, let's go. It's the Japanese theme.
Can you name one piece of gear you cannot live without?
That's my camera. I can't live without my camera because what made JAO happen. That's what's paying the bills today. And because I really love bringing my camera everywhere. Inspiration doesn't just start in the shoot. It's in everywhere. That's why I bring it, everywhere, because sometimes you have something nice to shoot, even in street, or you just see nice clouds. Shoot mo na lang bigla. Kaya pa tayo, if we have our phones, camera phones, just take pictures of whatever inspires us to see. So that's for me.
All right. What are your thoughts on Gank as a community-centric platform?
Thoughts about Gank. It's so nice to have something that focuses on the community. That is something I really want to be involved in. Photography is not just for the photographers alone, but it's just in general for the community, for the artists.
All right, so that being said, would you ever consider making a Gank account so people can support you?
Of course! Having a Gank account. I saw some content creators already. I think one of my friends who makes props, poster like bulletins, having that platform is also something you could market yourself as a photographer or as a creative, because it will just expand your reach in different areas,
And last question, what is your message for aspiring photographers and creatives?
My message to you guys is be yourself. But be yourself, but don't lose yourself by trying to be yourself. I hope that makes sense. Because sometimes we focus so much on ourselves, we tend to forget who we are. And that is something this generation has been into. It is good to also ask other photographers for advice, other cosplayers for advice. We have some senior cosplayers already, senior photographers who can give you tips and advice on how you could, advance yourself. No, it's good to have your own style. It's good to build a foundation on that. But it's also good, if you could learn from others, see from their mistakes as well, and just keep shooting, just keep on creating. Don't mind the comments. The cosplay community could be, can really be harsh, but it also can be really, really good. As well as the photography community, the artist community. It could be bad. There are some bad parts, but it could really be so good that it inspired the whole generation, just to enjoy themselves as being themselves. If there's a takeaway in this video, I think that is one of the things you could learn or take away from this video. Just be inspired from others as you try to inspire yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Jao. I
Thank you,
really
bro.
appreciate that you were part of this video. Really happy we got to work with you and hope to see you on Gank, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you, GAC Studios, for visiting the studio, and I'm inviting you guys, cosplayers, models, photographers, or basically, any creative. You guys want to shoot here in Studjao. You saw the cyberpunk, you saw the soji, the Japanese room. You're feel free to book us here in Studjao, and of course, subscribe to GAC Studios. Thank you so much for visiting us, for visiting me today, and having this interview. Thank you.
That's fine.